What's going on, YouTube? The Last Musketeer here with part 3 of the Epic 7 free-to-play Is It Worth It series. Now, I've got to say, first and foremost, thank you so much for all the support on the videos so far, and as I'm going through, I don't know what exactly happened in the last couple days, or even what happened overnight. I went to bed, it was doing well. The series for the last week had been doing well, and I wake up and I see that it's just blown up tremendously, and all I can say is that, you know, I'm super happy, and I thank you so much for your support. This has been so great for me. I enjoy making these so much, and being able to see all the feedback and the comments and everything on these videos has been great. I'm loving replying to people and kind of getting their takes on everything, their opinions. It's been a great experience for me. So, and I just wanted to get that out of the way early. I'll put a time skip in there if you want to skip all this mushy stuff. But you know, I'm gonna continue to do better every time, and hopefully, you know, interacting more with you, I can figure out what particular things that people might not like, or they might want me to include. Am I not being concise enough on certain things? Maybe I haven't been detailed enough. You know, just let me know what you think, and we'll get right into it. Alright, so starting on day 8, my initial goal was to finish all of episode 1 completely, 100%, get all the rewards, get anything I might have missed, because that is going to help me probably more later on than actually going through the story. I could be wrong. There may be things, I guess there's certain things that I do unlock that will probably push my account a little further or give me more options, but for the moment I'm just going to try to 100% what I've cleared so far and claim the rewards from that. So these summons, the main thing I'm looking for, obviously, other than some dupes to get more memory imprint for like Vildred or one of my other main characters, I'm looking for some artifacts that might give me a bit of an advantage as far as not just campaign anymore. I'm needing to get a little bit of arena, because the arena rewards are very nice, and I'm starting to get some heroes that can be viable for that content. So also, as a quick note, I want to say if the summonings are a bit too much, if you feel like they're too drug out and you don't want to see them all, I can just do this flash page at the end for the 10 that I pulled if you'd rather me do that. Just let me know down in the comments. So going into this, I unlocked the hero specialty change, and while I do have a current tank, he's not necessarily working out for me over the long run, and I didn't have a healer. So my thought is, if I use Mont for healing and Clury for tanking, after this upgrade, it could potentially give me a fairly strong team going into episode 2 and beyond. So I'm choosing both Clury and Mont as my 2 specialty change heroes early on. So I decided to take a break from the regular episodes to try out the special event. I wanted to see what it's all about, what kind of story it has, the music, and especially the rewards, because if the rewards aren't worth it, then there's no point in me trying it. But as I'm going through, I gotta say, the rewards have been fantastic. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, so really it doesn't feel like there's that much work put into actually obtaining these rewards. Now, some of the lower end ones, the better rewards from it, are going to be a little bit harder to unlock. You're probably going to have to run quite a few more, but with how I have it set up right now, I'm just getting a ton of energy, so all of this is actually so easy to cover. So here I'm just throwing a few levels into the skills of Vildred and kind of gauging, you know, the resources that I need, and throwing some more into Asaria as well, because she also has the opportunity to do a good amount of damage to a boss, so that's going to help me clear when Vildred doesn't one-shot. Abyss, start at 28. I think by the end of this I get decently high. You get about 3 chances per day. So for Arena, I still haven't ran into any troubles, just Bronze 2 at the moment, but it's been easy going for that, and I'm getting decent rewards as I rank up. So I do want to say, though, I don't remember if I show it in this video, but I did get beat at either, it might have been the 25th fight or 35, and it was kind of embarrassing because it was to one person. Now, off the top, 4v1 does sound like odds that I should win, but that's the thing with Arena. If somebody has a very well-kitted character, especially one that is high in resist so you can't land the defense down, and they have a ton of health and a ton of healing for themselves, you're going to find that you are in a big detriment early on. I think the fight was already going for 5 minutes, and Vildred just couldn't quite land the damage he needed. He getting close, just couldn't quite finish them off. So you take those experiences and you learn from them. You kind of figure out how to build your defensive team around Arena. Anything that you can get with heavy resist, heavy defense generally, or you want a team that's a little faster so you win the speed battle and can ultimately get the first hit. So I'm just showing off here some of the rewards from the special event that I was talking about. And you can see you have to get a decent amount of points, and they're earned through completing the missions. Some of them you're going to have to play multiple times. But at the end of the day, I think they did a good job of putting it together so it feels like content that you would want to do rather than something that you just have to feel like you have to do daily. That's the thing that really separates a lot of the games and what keeps people from leaving early on. Maybe you've enjoyed it for a month and then it starts to feel like you're just turning it into a chore. You never want it to be that experience. And if you ever feel like you're getting to that point in a game that you really love, maybe take a step back, relax a little bit on what you have to do daily. You never want to turn something into feeling like an extra job, because then that takes all the fun out of it. So I wanted to show this fight just because the Treasure King is found at the end of each chapter of the special event. So it'll have this guy, and you'll fight one of the giant Mulliguru plants, in which the Mulliguru is used to upgrade skills, so they seem to be a little harder to come by. And of course gold is going to be used in nigh everything you do, so having those two at the end gives you a bit of an incentive to maybe put in a little more grind to finish out that part of the chapters. So one thing I'd like to mention during this summon is that I was given these from an event where it lasts for like 5 days and you get 9 free summons a day, which is absolutely fantastic. Any type of reward like that is always going to be welcoming for new players especially. And here we have another event that gave me a free 5-star artifact and a free 5-star hero. Now they were random, and I pulled Kayron, and he seems to be pretty good. Like I said, going in blind, I have no idea exactly how good things are. I have to go off my own intuition, but he seems like he'd be a really good hero. Just be wary that with all the rewards, you're probably going to be clicking around a lot and scrolling through the event page because it's very long. But as you can see, another 5-star artifact. So I'm just getting crazy amounts of gear that I need early on especially. And pulling light and dark heroes is always cool. I assume that guy's name is Zahak. I don't exactly know how to pronounce that, but also seems to be a very good hero. It's hard to make a decision with what I want to use as far as arena, but maybe potentially him because he has a built-in high crit rate, so I could just stack as much attack and crit damage as I possibly can to make him hit like a nuke. Going into arena, I don't think I've actually lost again since getting demoralized by that single character, but it has been pretty smooth sailing, so I can't complain too much. Now pets, I would love to go further in depth, but I don't know a lot about them yet. As I learn in probably the next week of the series, I can go a little bit more in them. I know they are very useful, so I'll try to put out a bit more detail in that. I finally got my first 6-star hero, and of course it's got to be Vildred because, well, he's done everything for me so far. And I know that some of the other ones I will 6-star a little bit down the road. Getting the resources is going to be the hardest part without farming. So I'm taking it one step at a time and just kind of ensuring that as long as I've got a solid team around Vildred, I should be able to clear most everything that I'm going to run across, at least early on. I want to show just a typical fight for arena for me currently. It's a team of 4, but they're all low level, and as you can see from the person's name, it's probably somebody that played for a little bit, ended up not liking it after a few days, and so their team is still in arena. I don't know if it gets rid of them after some time or what, but that's still left to be discovered for me. But either way, I do very much enjoy that they're in there because climbing ranks has been a lot easier for me. Now, this particular stage is something I wanted to show because it is a special stage that you only get 3 times to clear it per day. The reason being, it has some really good rewards that normally you will only find in the adventure point shop of whatever current chapter that you're working on in an episode. So essentially you will farm a certain stage, get points per clearance of that stage, and then you can use those points to buy things called like Ultra Fang. While Vildred, for instance, uses things like the Ultra Fang to up his ascension level or to progress some of his skills to higher than +3. You will see me here using some of the boxes that I've earned from events to purchase some of these. I don't know if it's necessarily a great idea to do this early on. Maybe it is. I would suggest saving them, potentially using it on something that may be a little harder for you to farm as opposed to Vildred's, because for me, Vildred, I can unlock a lot of his stuff in earlier episodes, so it's available to me. I'm just saving some time so that I don't have to cut into the hour that I have per day as much. Now moving on to day 13, I skipped the first part of the summoning just to show the 10. I'm trying not to clog these videos too much. They go on long enough as is. I don't need to put too much into it. So I'm showing you some arena rewards, some abyss rewards, and 40 is the next one that I'm going to, as I'll have to do in the next day. But it gives you 8 Malagorus, which is fantastic. That's an awesome milestone. And I just wanted to throw this clip in because this is just me thinking I could take on something a little stronger than myself. So I lost the hell mode of the spirit altar. I really needed the gems from that, so I pushed my luck. Obviously didn't work out. It would be even better if I had a team of fire-based units, because that would make clearing that so much faster. Now we're into the final day of week 2, and came time for weekly arena reset, so I chose the Mystic Summons. I don't know if that's the good option there, but that's what I went for over the Crystal Gems. I know Crystal Gems can probably be used for a lot more, but the Special Summon part of the Mystic Summon I thought might be something cool to try out later on. I'm just showing you floor 40 of the Abyss. Reason being, it's a great milestone, and I wanted to kind of show you the full fight because I want to show what currently it's like to clear these content. What am I struggling with? What am I falling behind on? And I'm noticing that I'm not critting as much, I'm not landing my debuffs enough, I'm not staying alive enough, and so that kind of gives me an insight of what I actually need to progress on. Obviously, up to this point, my focus has been on mainly one character, but kind of shows just how far in will you be before you've actually got to work on everything as a whole. And so coming into that also falls in line with the Potion of Ascension. Now I got this from an event, and I don't know if the event will still be available during your time. Hopefully they give these out maybe at least once a month, because this takes any hero, regardless of level, up to 6-star immediately, which I think is an awesome reward. Anytime you can have something like that, they need to throw that in, because that's going to give a lot more incentive to farm, because everything is a lot harder to obtain over time. Getting to 5 heroes in which to use to upgrade one to 6-star takes forever. Now I ended up picking Clury for that. My 2 options that I had in mind were Mont and Clury. Reason being, Clury, after her specialty change, is going to be a way better tank for me, and so I have a bit more survivability going through these later missions, and also because going from 5-star to 6-star, yeah, it does take a decent amount of resources, but compared to like a 3 or 4-star, I'm saving multiple steps, multiple resources. So anytime you do it, I'd recommend something that you would use preferably at like a 3 or 4-star, but obviously if you have better options for that same role in a 5-star, go for the 5-star. You know, ultimately it's up to you. You know what you'll need for your account. You'll know what you've got to upgrade as far as going towards progression. So once again, as I'm gearing her up, I just want to say the gear that I got for her, that I put on her just then, I don't necessarily remember if I got it from an event or if I got it from just completing beginner missions in the game. There's so many resources that they throw at you, and that's something I'm very excited to see, because some games don't understand quite what the new player feels when they go into a game. You've got your people giving guides, you know, your veteran players helping out at times, but when a new player comes in, some things can be overwhelming, and giving them the opportunity to grind as fast as possible early on is a fantastic idea. So I gotta give praise to the developers at time. Hopefully, you know, it's from listening to the community, because the game has been out for quite a while. So I'm just gonna give a quick run over of what I'm currently sitting at as far as power and as far as gear. This is the culmination of 2 weeks and of course an hour a day, so granted, your experience may be that you get a lot further than this, and if you like the game enough and you play it an efficient amount, you will do more than me. I'm just kind of giving you a basic overview of what the average player is going to feel and see as they play the game. Also ending it out with a 6-star awakening on Vildred, so that's my first 6-star awakening, a big milestone, and I'm excited to see what I can do in the next week. But we're sitting over 100k power. It's absolutely awesome. I'm not sure how high you can actually get these players, but I've got a lot of room to grow still, so it's exciting to see. Assyria doesn't have great stats right now, obviously it's very low, but another one I'll probably put some more time into. Flan definitely needs some time put into it. He needs a lot of speed, a lot of accuracy. Clury, this is just the basic gear that I got. It's pretty decent gear, but because she's not specialty upgraded yet and she's fairly new to my account, so I'm going to have to put a lot more of supplies into her, but I'll get that as time goes on. But we're starting to get to the end of the video, guys, and once again I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's watching these videos and supporting me. If you're liking them so far, please just give me a subscribe and a like. It very much helps, and helps to grow the channel and helps to know that y'all are enjoying these videos. Anyway, it's been The Last Musketeer, and I'll see you in the next one.